Hello, this is Edna Keep here live with Free Coaching Friday. Today I want to ask you, do you know how to properly value a property? Lots of people don't. That's one of the questions I get quite frequently, and I thought I'd talk about that again today. And remember, if you need my help, go to ednakeep.com. You can check out several different ways of following me or working with me. Anyway, to properly value a property, the first thing we need to start with is determine if it's residential or commercial. So 4 units and below are considered residential, and they are valued a lot differently than commercial property. So ways to value property that way is you can either get an appraisal. If you really don't know, lots of times after you've been in the business for a long time, you just know. But to start with, you can get an appraisal. Average house might be, I don't know, $500. Another way is to get a realtor to do a market comparable for you. And the market comparable will compare prices to properties that have sold that are similar to this property. If you're looking at a property that needs a lot of work, you can get an appraisal that gives you an after repair value as well. It costs you a little bit extra, but if that's what you're looking at doing, especially if you're trying to get financing, you're going to need it anyway. So sometimes you can get financing for the repairs as well. So those are the most popular ways of getting valuation of residential properties. And now when it comes to commercial, it's a different story. And a lot of times when people are making offers or getting ready to make offers, you don't have all the numbers up front, so you can't make a really, really good stickable offer. And a lot of people worry about that and don't get that offer in, and they end up losing the deal. Just this week, I had one of my students on the call, and she was telling us that although the owner of the building had reached out to somebody he knew, or that person had contacted him ahead of her, he was still thinking about it, trying to come up with a number, and she gave him an offer verbally and then followed it up with a written offer, and he accepted it. And then the other person come back a few days later, and guess what? The deal's gone. So that's the biggest thing that I see people being held back on. They're so scared they're going to make that offer wrong up front that they never make the offer. I remind my students all the time, that offer is negotiable till the day you remove conditions. Get it under contract. Even if you have to give asking price, or I had a student wondering about over asking this morning. You have 3 competing offers. If you're really adamant about getting it, it doesn't really matter what that first offer is. Realtors might argue with me. I do not care. They don't like that extra work involved. They want to just get the highest price and commission right off the bat. But a good realtor will work with you on that kind of stuff. So make the offer, because you can't go anywhere if you haven't got an accepted offer. So, and you should analyze enough properties ahead of time so you have a rough idea, like a per door price in an area. You should know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Then once it's under contract, that's when you ask for all the financials. Most of the time when realtors are posting stuff, it is pro forma anyway. Like it's not real numbers, it's estimated numbers. This is our approximate rent, this is our approximate expenses, this is the approximate net operating income. That's the number you always want to get to. What's the net operating income? And until you see the actual financials, and preferably 3 years worth, you don't know that number. And then, even then, when you see that number, there's ways of construing them differently. For example, a lot of property owners will do a lot of repairs and maintenance just before they're going to sell. Like they will upgrade, they'll maybe put new roofs in and sidewalks and boilers and windows and different stuff like that. So there might be a lot of renovation expenses that won't be an ongoing thing. Alternatively, sometimes there's very little repairs and maintenance, and then you want to watch for deferred maintenance. Maybe the owner hasn't taken care of his building over the last, 3 years. You want to watch for that. You want to make sure you're not getting into something or paying a high price for something that has a whole bunch of deferred maintenance. So those are things that you can knock off or add on when you're doing your calculations. So get to know your per door price on average. If you've never purchased before, I know that that's not easy, but analyze a few properties, even things that you're never going to make an offer on. Analyze them anyway, and then up front. But what you're looking for is a net operating income that's going to be able to support the mortgage and have some cash flow. The commercial mortgage brokers will help you. Again, if you don't know everything, get your offer in front of a commercial mortgage broker right away. They can help you figure out if it's CMHC financing eligible or if it's conventional, if there's some after repair financing costs that you need to get, different things like that, whether you should go right away for a long-term mortgage or whether you should go for a shorter-term mortgage, because there's an opportunity for you to increase the net operating income. There's so many things to think about, but the first thing you have to do is get that property under contract or analyze 100 of them so you know when you're ready. So net operating income is what you're looking at. There's cap rates are all over the place, and yeah, we figure them out, but it's not the be all and end all. You might get an 8 cap in a small town. You might get a 3 cap in Toronto. So you've got to decide what you're willing to work with. Some people do not want to go outside the big cities. That's all they want. That's all they're comfortable with. That's their business. They've still done well, but you can get 8 cap properties out there and do really well on them. It depends what your long-term goal is. Is it just a safe place for your capital to sit with mortgage pay down, a little bit of return on it, or are you looking at cash flow? Is cash flow king for you? So a lot of it depends on what you want to do too. So hopefully I answered some questions that you might have had about how to properly value a property. And remember, just get at it. Analyze some. The best way is analyzing. And a lot of my students, when they actually make that offer and start working on the live deal, they realize that, they already know a lot of stuff. Before then, it's frightening. You think, oh, I don't know anything. I don't know enough. I don't know enough. But when you start working on it, you realize you do. And what you don't know, you can reach out to me and ask. So, or other people that are your mentors. So don't let that stop you. There's lots of opportunities out there, and the only way you make the most of them is going for it. And if you need help with mindset, because that seems to be the biggest issue for a lot of people, that's one of my specialties. I love working with people on their mindset, getting them past their fears and limiting beliefs and getting them into the game. And then helping you manage it, because it's not easy managing it afterwards either. So have a really, really good Friday and a really good weekend, and we'll talk to you all on Monday. Bye for now. Hey, hi TJ, hi Mary, nice to see you guys on. How's it going?